Are you in need of a new monitor? Well, today I'm going to be showing you the ins and outs of monitors and how you can decide which one you should buy. Hello and welcome to How to Compute. I'm K-Source and let's take an in-depth look into monitors. So there are many things people look into when buying a monitor. They look into refresh rate, aspect ratio, size, resolution, panel type, response time, and any adaptive sync technologies it has. So first, getting into the refresh rate. The typical refresh rate of a monitor is 60 Hz, meaning that it can display 60 frames per second from the GPU, which is typically just fine for desktop things and most gaming. But if you want a competitive edge in fast-paced games like CSGO, and you can consistently get over 60 FPS, then it may be worth looking into 144 Hz monitors like the VG248QE. Or, if you have a beefy GPU like the 1080 or 1070 and your budget allows for it, you may want to go for the new 240Hz PG258Q. Now, refresh rate is not everything when it comes to fast-paced gaming, but it does play a part, and I can confess that 144Hz does just feel ever so slightly smoother than 60Hz. Now, typically monitors are 16:9 aspect ratio, meaning it is 16 units wide and 9 units tall. There are other aspect ratios, though, such as 16:10, which is not as popular as it used to be, but still exists in a few current monitors. And then there is the retro 4:3, which is in nearly no new monitors and does not often give you a great experience since it's basically square, giving you a very limited field of view. And finally, 21:9, which is skyrocketing in popularity, and it is what 2 of the How to Compute members have. From personal experience, dual 16:9 monitors are probably the most convenient and especially for multitasking, but 21:9, also known as ultra-wide, has its benefits. Especially with productivity and gaming, you can fit more on the screen and therefore see more of the world around you in game. But if you are getting into gaming, it is much more effective to set up 3 16:9 monitors and use your surround or Eyefinity, depending on your graphics card, and spread it across all screens. All in all, 16:9 is far the most cost-effective and making it the best option, but if your budget allows for it, 21:9 may be for you. I especially like 21:9 while editing videos. Now, size is important too. You want it to be big enough so you can see everything on your screen with ease, but you don't want it to be too big, otherwise it simply will not fit on your desk. Rule of thumb is that I would not get a 1080p monitor over 24 inches, assuming it's 16:9. On the other hand, if the monitor is, say, 24 inches and it's 4K, most stuff will strain your eyes to see, as the pixels will be so tiny, and Windows does not do a great job on upscaling stuff. Therefore, 4K even at 27 inches might be hard to see, and I would not get it if you have Windows 7, but with Windows 10, scaling has gotten better, so you should be fine after playing around with a few settings. Just don't expect to get good frames in games at 4K, unless you have a GTX 1080 or better. Now, size can be confusing if you are talking about different aspect ratios. For example, 27-inch 16:9 monitors have the same height as a 34-inch 21:9 monitor. And same can be said for a 23-inch 16:9 monitor and a 29-inch 21:9 monitor. Now on to resolutions. This is often the most advertised and known feature of a monitor. It is very simple. It's the amount of horizontal pixels by the amount of vertical pixels. If you don't know what a pixel is, just think Minecraft. So it's obvious, isn't it? More pixels equals more better? Well, in some cases, yes, such as productivity and content creation. But with gaming, this is not the case. More pixels look better, but you get worse frame rates, so you don't want to go see how powerful your graphics card is if you plan to game and can afford a monitor that is over 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080. If someone refers to 4K, they probably mean 2160p, as 4K is very uncommon at 4096 by 2160. 2160p is 3840 by 2160 and is what people call 4K. It is also known as UHD for ultra high definition or ultra HD. Now, lots of resolutions have names. Let's go over a few. 1280 by 720 is known as HD, but it's actually pretty low res and kind of obsolete. Then 1080p is known as full HD. Getting into the higher resolutions, we have 2560 by 1440 known as QHD or Quad HD because it is equal to having 4 720p screens. Then we have 3440 by 1440 ultra wides with names like WQHD. Now on to panel types. There are 2 main panel types, TN and IPS. TN is generally less expensive at the cost of having more washed out colors and worse viewing angles. This makes it hard sometimes when they are not your main monitor, as you look at your second or third monitor at a bit more of an angle. The gray to gray response time of a monitor is measured in milliseconds, and TN panels are the lowest at 1 millisecond. where IPS typically goes as low as about 4 milliseconds. Most people say they can't tell the difference, so IPS is better in every way. But there are a few people who say they can see the difference. This is something good to try out in the store before buying. Now really the only disadvantage with IPS is sometimes on the black screen, the edges can have a bit of a glow. This is called IPS glow. Now a VESA mount is a third-party mount that mounts into the 4 screw holes in the back of a monitor. I have a really hard time buying a monitor without VESA compatibilities and would only recommend it if it's a good deal because you can get really cool VESA mounts like this. Now there are 2 adaptive sync technologies out there, FreeSync and G-Sync. FreeSync is made only for AMD and costs the monitor manufacturers nearly nothing to implement. On the other hand, G-Sync is only NVIDIA and costs $200 to implement. They aim to remove screen tearing, and screen tearing looks like this. Now on to dead pixels or stuck pixels. This is what happens when the pixel doesn't display the correct color and is stuck and won't change. This is clearly an issue, but typically there has to be a group of them for warranty to do anything. And there's no predicting if it's going to happen to your monitor or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. This has been KSource. Check out my gaming channel if that interests you. There will be a link down in the description. But anyway, if you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe for more videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!